At the path here to the quarterfinals, and the winner of this match will play either the reigning world champion Kunlavut Vititsan, 6th seed from Thailand, or Koki Watanabe. This match is going on right now as we speak.
For number one, men's singles, from Indonesia, Jonatan Christie. And his opponent, from China, Guang. Denmark, Sudirman, Dominic Pedera, England.
So this will be the third meeting between the players. It's 1-1. The last meeting at Indonesia Masters at the start of this year. It was a very, very tight one. Lu Guang won that opening round of the tournament. Disappointment there for Christie to be out so early. That one took just under an hour and 20 minutes to complete. So Jonatan Christie is 27 years of age, 179 centimeters tall, from the capital, Jakarta. He's currently third in the world. He has been a bit higher as world number 2 at the start of this year. Man who has won the Asian Games gold medal in 2018, Asian champion this year, second in 2022. Beat Leong Junhao comfortably yesterday, and has got 7 titles to his name. Just came from Finland, where he was runner-up at the Arctic Open, losing to CHN in the final, but he has won all England this year. Fantastic for him, his biggest ever win. Lu Guang is 27 years of age, just a tad shorter at 178. He is a former top 10 player, achieved at the start of last year, currently 18th. Asian Championships last year, he finished 3rd, and in terms of HSBC BWF World Tour titles, he has won 3 of them, including the Korea Open this year. Lakshya Sen was his opponent yesterday, and he won that in a 70-minute marathon. Let's see if that will have any impact on him today. What are your thoughts on this one then, Chris?
Ready to play?
It's a tough one to call. I mean, head-to-head's 1-1. Both players can play at very, very high levels, no doubt about it. I mean, Lu Guang won the Korean Open. You got Jonatan Christie, who won the All England, won the Badminton Asia Championships. I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I think it's going to be a good game. Both of them at times can struggle and maybe don't perform to the level that everybody expects. I'd honestly say it's a 50-50.
Jonatan Christie, just to give you an idea, he's had a couple of quarter-final appearances here, 21 and 22. Last year he was out in the first round. Lu Guang has never got beyond the second round, which is where he got to last year. You look at Jonatan Christie, I mean, he's... In terms of consistency, he started the year very poorly with early exits in his first 4 tournaments. First or second round, then suddenly pops up and wins All England.
Jonatan, he serve. You choose receive. You receive.
And then after All England, he wins the Asia Championships and then goes out early in the Singapore Open, his home tournament against Indonesia Open.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Lu Guangzhou, China.
Doesn't get beyond the group stages of the Olympics.
And on my left, Jonatan Christie, Indonesia.
Has a bit of a break then. Hong Kong Open gets to the semis.
Jonatan Christie to serve.
And then China Open
Love
semis
all.
again. And then that final at the Arctic Open.
Play.
So perhaps has turned a corner. So it's been real extremes this season he's had.
Definitely, and I think just going back to the Olympics, he did have the tough group,
Yeah.
and it didn't quite work out for Indonesia, as obviously all the Indonesian fans would have wanted at the Olympics. And he's come back and he's shown the level he can play. He's had some good performances. I think today's going to be an interesting challenge because he is the favourite on paper.
Yeah.
But it's another good challenge for him to kind of prove he is. He's kind of the character that when you analyse him and you break him down, he doesn't really have a weakness as such. You know, every part of his game is so good. I just think sometimes maybe it is maybe a little bit more the mental side that he finds more complicated, because I'm sure he has a lot of pressure on him being he's kind of a fan favourite around the world.
Yeah.
Obviously in Indonesia where the fans are so passionate, and maybe it's just sometimes that side of it he struggles with a little bit more than actually the ability side, because he has everything.
You contrast that, of course, there with the drift just behind him. Lu Guangzhou had a number of early exits, a quarter-final in the Malaysia Open and the French Open, so 2 big ones there. Otherwise, some early exits at the start of the season. And then he had a quarter-final Thailand Open. Semi at the Malaysian Masters, again an early exit in Singapore and Indonesia and Japan. Then he goes and wins the Korea Open, but then again starts having early exits in the next few tournaments. It's been a very mixed bag for him.
4-2.
Or for number 3, mixed doubles. From China, Guang and Guang.
Well, we can tell you that winner of this match will be playing Koki Watanabe, who's just beaten Kunlavut right next to us on court 2.
The opponents from Denmark, Rasmus Espersen and Megan Cecilia Kush.
Doesn't hold up there.
Service over. 3-5.
He looked a bit frustrated with himself there, Lu Guangzhou, on that. Seemed to be in 2 minds, perhaps.
Yeah, Christie was looking back there at the line. In his mind, it was obviously, I think, had that doubt if it's in or out. He's not sure, but you can see how low he takes it. When you take it that low, it's almost impossible. Got to make that decision earlier if you can.
Yesterday, we had so many players on this back line closer to us.
5-6.
Just assume it's going out.
Yeah, and it's just because when it holds up that little bit, you know, the shuttle normally continues to travel, and when it just blows into a very, very slight drift, it just stops. And it, you know, as a player, you're used to knowing where it's going to land, but with that drift, it just changes it.
Oof, that's well wide.
Yeah, we haven't really had a rally that we would have expected as of yet, but I think both players just settling, getting used to the conditions. We've seen just 1 or 2 mishits, 1 or 2 indecisions. That's brilliant, though. There's something about Lu Guangzhou. He's the kind of player that never normally gets steamrolled, as in it's always a very competitive game. Even when he loses, you look at some of his results, and even when he loses first round, generally it's a very competitive game. Obviously, last week he beat Jinting, which was a big win. Then it was a bit of a strange match in his next round against Tanabe, where he did get steamrolled, which was one of the very few. He lost 11 and 13, which is incredibly comfortable.
Ooh. He thought about it. He did. And looked tight.
I think Lu Guangzhou is the kind of player that he's never going to do something that you... Yeah, I don't know if I probably would have challenged him.
I know.
But saying that, I'm awful with look, so.
Oof.
Brilliant. I'm sure as a player I wasn't as bad as I have been. So I'm not sure if I need my eyes testing or it's the position you sit in.
Did you sometimes challenge with not much conviction?
Well, I can say when I played occasionally I would have challenged to be tactical.
Right.
The vast majority of the time I would have challenged because I truly believed. And I would say most of the time, I had a lot better averages than I've had as a commentator, definitely.
Oh, he's reacted well there.
Incredible reactions there. Jonatan Christie.
Nicely done. That took Lu Guangzhou by surprise. Pure instinct there. Good work from Christie.
Brilliant. And the change of pace and speed that Christie has, I mean, obviously it helps that his legs are incredibly strong. I definitely have liked that kind of speed as a player myself. I think it would have been quite a bit sharper at the net. But no, he can change the speed of the rally just because he can inject that pace, because he can be so quick.
It's probably one of the longest rallies we've had so far. Again.
Seen so many of those.
Yeah.
Only in the 6-7 matches that I've seen, you know, live.
This one, this little area here, isn't it?
Yeah, it just holds up. And it's so annoying because it literally lands plumb on the line. And, you know, if it didn't have that little drift, it's definitely out.
That's the slump of the shoulders from the players afterwards. Oh!
Great block.
Wonderful.
It's one of those things from Lu Guangzhou, if you're slightly off balance. I mean, it was a good attack. It was just exceptional from Christie. But if you're slightly off balance, you've got to be careful giving it too much power. You want to bring it down a bit more. But to be fair, he's not even off balance. It's just exceptional defence. The quality of that shot is skimming over the net and in front of the front service line.
I could see what the idea was.
I mean, that was an incredible lift. I'm not sure we're going to get to see it off the net. Yeah, here we go. This one here, a spin on that from Christie was a lot, but he's literally put Christie on the back line there.
Very tight start to this one.
Wow.
Oh, he's missed it.
That was exceptional from Lu Guangzhou.
Interval.
And at the break here, it's 11-10. We're starting to have a few more rallies as well, aren't we?
Satu, dia depannya berat, ya, kakinya kan sakit itu.
Takes that so early, reads it so well.
Depan belakangnya harus bisa gitu, ya. Nah, jangan mau tipis-tipis, nggak usah tas. Yang penting kamu tarik kanan kiri, depan belakang, ngerti? Ya, jangan kepancing juga. Kalau enak baru kamu serang. Kalau nggak berat banget, udah kayak asal-asal aja dia kalau dari apalagi dari sininya. Tapi kan divariasi. Tapi makanya lebih ini aja, lebih kayak main dicepetin, ditarik. Ayo kamu. Ya, ininya ya dari temponya.
Eleven, 10. Play.
Coach Irwan Shah there telling him to just compose himself a little more at times.
12.
In my very, very
10.
basic Bahasa.
Tough thing for Christie is when you're playing someone like Lu Guangzhou, you know you're not really going to get anything. He's not going to do something totally exceptional on a consistent basis, but he's not really going to give you anything. He's a very hard-working, you know, quite simplistic player. This is where I think we've seen a little bit from Christie just trying to force something when it's not quite there.
Oh, brilliant down the line.
It's the thing, we see these moments. I mean, that is pure brilliance. No one's getting that back. But then also coupled with just a few easier mistakes or slight indecision or...
And then he responds in kind, Lu Guangzhou.
Yeah, maybe he heard me and he was like, I can do exceptional stuff, because that was brilliant as well. Slightly short-lived, you can see there. Gets up and amazing placement. Again, the integral thing is when they're getting this attack, and we're seeing some phenomenal attack, it all comes from being in a good position, getting hold of the net, getting a lift, and reading it, and then being on balance. You can see there, Lu Guangzhou's off balance, in trouble, short lift, and that's what gives Christie time to be able to place his attack so well. Maybe on that one from Christie didn't quite need to be that tight. If he was making Lu Guangzhou move the full court, Lu Guangzhou's very quick, but I don't think he could have hurt Christie on this shot. Does well to change his footwork to be able to get that. This one here, if it was another 6 inches higher, Lu Guangzhou's going to get it, but I don't think he's going to put Christie under a lot of stress.
Oh, well wayward there.
This is what I feel is just that. It's almost that Jekyll and Hyde story in regards to the last 2 rallies. Lu Guangzhou hasn't had to do a lot, really, to win the points. I've seen some points before where Christie's been exceptional, but just needs that middle ground of a little bit of composure. Work the rally.
And that puts him difficult now. 4 points ahead, Lu Guangzhou.
The big thing is as well, when when you're winning points without having to do anything really good or play exceptional or hit really creative shots, it gives you the extra confidence, the extra belief. And I would say last 3 rallies, Lu Guangzhou kind of been in his comfort zone, really.
Yeah, it's not really been tested in the last few minutes, you're right.
And this is the thing now for Christie, you get in that position where things start to play on your mind and you almost try harder and harder to win the point, but you kind of don't mean to, obviously. You make it worse for yourself. You gift more points to your opponent.
Service over.
Needed that quite badly, Christie.
17.
We spoke yesterday after beating Leong Junhao about how that defeat against Leong at the Indonesian Open a few months ago really played on his mind. Said he found it hard to accept, so he came prepared and changed a few things in his game plan against him. And it worked.
14,
Did concede that
17.
Leong Junhao perhaps wasn't at his best, not as aggressive. He also feels he's got a few good results left in him this year, and he wants to win another title before the year ends. Having come close in the last few tournaments.
Brilliant.
Excellent work.
This is it. There's 2 versions of him. Yeah, the last 2-3 rallies, he's played incredibly well, controlled the rallies, dictated. Took that so early, they had all the options here. Just holds it. Very good shot quality, also nice deception. Lu Guangzhou's in so much trouble, he's stretched.
Oh, yes.
And again, and this is the thing, you know, there's 2 versions of him. When he's like this, the last 3 or 4 points, yeah, this is why he's winning tournaments and putting players in trouble.
Yeah.
And, you know, winning the All England, the Asian Championships, final the Arctic Open. I think of 4 rallies just before that, and
Right.
just some cheaper mistakes. And
3 in a row here. And he's now put himself right back in contention. Just a point behind.
brilliant again.
17 all.
4 in a row.
And I tell you what, it's very impressive how Christie's managed to compose himself. He has, because
After what preceded this,
yeah,
yeah.
it'll be so easy to, you know, kind of, as I said, run away with it in your head of I've got to be better, I've got to do more, where he's done it so well to compose himself and gather himself and then just allow the rally to elongate, but just keep putting pressure on his opponent.
7-11. Service over. 8-3.
And he now goes in front.
18-17.
Well, this has been a very, very good run from him. 6 points in a row.
8-11. 9-3.
Well, the bonus for Christie, of course, he wins on this
18 all.
purportedly tougher end. That is the bonus, isn't it?
That goes.
It's very tight here.
Service over. 10-4.
Thank you.
9-12.
Thank you.
5.
So it is 18 all here in this first game. After a fine run from Christie comes to an end where he got 6 points in a row to drag himself right back into contention. And he hits a fine shot there.
19-18.
over. 11-5. Interval. 15-9.
Oh, he's done well there, Christie.
Service over.
Exceptional pickup from Christie in that rally, and then when he had the chance to lift, it was just a bit tentative. Put himself in further trouble.
I think it might have been the thought of the conditions.
That's the pickup that's so good. Yeah, he knows that he's trying to go over him quite flat, but it's
Jonatan.
just not quite ready after it. Just wanted it a little bit higher, a little bit deeper. That's such a good pickup. But this is where he's so athletic. China have done incredibly well, obviously, with their men's singles. Guang being the 18th ranked player in the world and the 4th Chinese player.
Yep, depth is amazing.
Really well read.
Liu Guang just gives himself that edge here.
Game point.
He's got that game point now.
Been incredibly topsy-turvy first game.
Tightened up incredibly in the last few minutes. Oh, doesn't make it over. Liu Guang takes that first game.
Won by Liu Guangsu, 21-19.
21-19. Yeah, that expression says it all.
Tapi jangan fokus ke situnya. Yang penting kamu ngelarin aja, lari simple, ngerti kan? Cuman jangan mainnya datar semua, karena dia jadi dia nunggunya juga mau spekulasi dari tengah belakang. Ngerti kan? Nah, jadi kamu kalau ini dia main memang sabar mau dapat poin aja langsung gitu. Ngerti kan? Jadi makanya main sebenarnya kayak biasa aja, Jo. Jangan fokus jadi nanti jadi ragu-ragu yang lain-lainnya. Biasa aja biasa, tapi lariin terus gitu. Kayak tadi kan udah bener tuh waktu terakhir tuh kamu mau kasih ke sana udah bener itu, nggak apa-apa. Cuman lebih ini aja yakin, ini jauh gitu, ya, bukan datar gitu. Udah dia mau kencang-kencang doang. Nah, kamu panjangin, lariin, nggak apa-apa, nggak mati. Cuman gitu ngelari, nggak bisa dia. Itu aja. Dia kalau udah ke belakang.
20, game point 9. Service over. 9-13.
That's an interesting comment from
20 seconds.
Christie yesterday, where he was talking about paddle and pickleball being possible threats to badminton. What do you think about that?
I would say in Indonesia, definitely not.
Yeah, I think there's worry there.
You know, the Indonesian fans,
Second
wow.
game.
Their passion for badminton is
It's
incredible.
Unparalleled, isn't it?
The sports are definitely growing. Pickleball in America and paddle in Europe. For me, though, they're not a touch on badminton. Not that I'm biased at all.
Jonatan Christie said he might try his hand in a little bit, but
Service over. 1
I
love.
think all the other racket sports, just looking at those two and thinking, they are going viral in many ways. Oh, again.
2 love.
And he's on the end now, going into that drift.
Service over. 11-14.
He started well, isn't he?
3 love.
Big differences now for Guang is obviously trickier for him to lift. When he's that low, he has to lift. You can't play the net from down there. But he'll definitely be trying to play more of a no-lift style and hold the net.
Oh, again, the reactions.
love.
And he has. I mean, Christie's speed and reaction speed is it's almost like a badminton version of Superman at times.
14. Play.
Really running away with his second game now, 5-love.
He looks so much more comfortable, doesn't he? He's happy on this side.
Pretty quick rallies.
Six unanswered points already to Christie. I think this is the best start we've certainly seen on this court in the matches that we've done.
13, 14. Play.
Wow.
Let's look at these shots.
7 love.
He's just read it so well, taking that so early.
Nothing's really going for Lu Guang too.
Yeah, and the momentum obviously is all with Jonatan Christie, and now he's flowing, he's looking comfortable, he's looking a bit calmer, more relaxed. He's reading what his opponent's doing because his opponent has slightly less options with the rear of the court being less accessible. How early he was on that.
Service over.
Finally gets a point on the board here, Lu Guang too.
8.
From the coaching side of things, we saw in a previous game in the mixed doubles, the integral pie is trying your best to make your players feel comfortable, calm, relaxed, and get them to understand the tactics involved in it. Christie's settled so much better in this second game.
Better from Lu.
2-8.
Oh, right in that corner. Christie decides he's going to challenge that.
Definitely too close for me to even attempt to call. Especially as yesterday I got one right, so that might be me done for the week.
Wow, right there. It was good for Lu Guang too.
Challenge remaining. 3-8. Play.
6-2. Service over. 18-15.
Oh, again.
Service over.
Jonatan Christie.
9-3.
Absolutely superb.
7-2.
When you stretch that much as he is, obviously everything's a lot more complicated. You can't see your opponent, you're out of balance, out of position. To play a shot of that quality, it really is exceptional. Brilliant net shot.
Service over.
Great spin on that net.
4-9.
8-2.
You can see how much that is spinning, and it's obviously so tight to the net. It's so hard for Jonatan to be able to get a good lift on that.
Better, Lu Guang too.
5-9.
Just closing the gap now. It's halved it to what it was earlier. 4 points.
9-2. 20. Game point. 15.
Service over. 10-5.
10-2. Game. First game won by Yao Jimin, 21-15.
Way over. And
11,
interval end of the
5.
second game.
Interval.
Christie is up by 6. He's looking pretty comfortable. But it was Liu, of course, who won that first game.
Kalau udah buka, siap defend, udah itu. Kalau masuk dia nggak bisa.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Eleven, 5. Play.
Really well read.
12,
And he,
5.
you know, in that situation there, Christie, he doesn't really have to worry about the shot over him. That's why he can be so sharp in the mid. Brilliant.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 3, 20 seconds. Court 3, 20 seconds.
Service over. 6-12.
Did hold up this time.
Yeah, played to millimetre perfection, it looks like.
Odds on normally when you're on this end, it won't.
7,
This time it did.
12.
One, no. 12-4.
Service over. 13-7.
Service over. 1-2.
Well, he's building up towards that
7.
big lead he had earlier of 8 points. Almost there, Jonatan Christie. We're already going to be perhaps thinking about that next game.
14-4.
It would appear, Chris, as of now, that
15-7.
Liu Guang's struggled a bit more on this end than Jonatan Christie has.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the big thing for me now with Jonatan Christie is he's got to keep his concentration. He has quite a large lead, and it's easy. It sounds ridiculous, but it's easy for your concentration to waver just slightly or think you need to do even more than you're doing. But everything he's doing at the moment, you know, pretty much perfect. He's in control of the game. Big thing is now,
16-7.
the rallies really that Liu Guangzhu's won have been very, very, very good from Liu Guangzhu, but it's impossible to maintain that for such a long duration. This is why it's been a pretty one-sided second game. But it's full credit to Jonatan Christie. Obviously, first game you could say got snatched from him. It was an even one. Either one could have won the first game. But he was the one that had a bit more pressure on him in the second game, obviously losing the first, but he came out here very confident, massive lead to start with, and then he just continued in that positive form. He's just, you can see every chance he gets, he's reading the game so well because he's just not concerned about the rear of the court, really. Yes, there's 2 shots that have been lifted over him that were plumb on the line that he couldn't get, fine, he left them. But except for that, he's just taken everything early.
Massive 10-point lead here and make that 11.
18-7.
And he is kind of half a step ahead almost of every single shot that's being played at the moment from Lu Guangzhou.
18-4. 5-3.
Well, look, if he's struggling this much, Lu Guangzhou, that third
19-7.
game, he's going to need a massive lead, you'd think. In theory, this is all in theory, of course, going by what we've seen.
Theory and reality, unfortunately, are two slightly different things. Brilliant.
Much better.
Service over.
But it's a stark contrast, isn't it, between how both of them have handled this end.
Definitely. And I think it does come down to when you have a lead and you maintain the lead, it just increases, obviously, the pressure, the stress on your opponent. We've seen quite a lot, to be honest, more uncharacteristic mistakes from Lu Guangzhou than in the first game and what you'd normally expect. He's a very diligent, hard-working player that doesn't give his opponent a lot, and we've seen a few more than normal in the second game.
Nicely done to set up
Service over.
12 game points.
20. Game point 8.
Just reading it so well there, Christie. Even when Christie played his backhand net, he was quite low, calm, composed, knew exactly where the next shot was going.
Game.
And that is the second game to Jonatan Christie. A superb masterclass, really, from him. Where he grabbed it by the horns right from the start. Took an 8-love lead and never looked back. 21-8, Jonatan Christie. We're going into the rubber now.
效果不是那么好，我就连你逼一逼，慢慢他就适应啊。前面咱们2拍进了效果，他给你打了2局了，他就适应的进攻啊，用节奏啊也越来越好啊。所以说一定要耐心一点打连段啊，但是战术还是一样，这个顺着后来，然后2分拿高的，不要轻易的就放下来，这样就行，好吧？虽然我感觉这样也行啊，好，他都没有，他就发冲点，就跟打。
Cara mainnya depan belakang, lariin aja dikit. Ya. Jangan diadu, mau mendatar-datar nggak usah. Cuman jangan umpan semua ya, Ju. Kalau bisa dari belakang, turun, tekan, lariin lagi. Kalau bisa gitu. Kecuali terdesak banget, oh boleh lah. Ya, udah itu aja. Jadi siap aja, ya, defense siap aja. Kalau kamu bisa kenain, dia nggak bisa ngejar ke depan. Oke ya, kamu Jo. Lagi ya.
肯定是高调为主。
20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Final game. Love all. 6-7. Play.
So Lu Guangzhou, having really been hammered in that last game, will want to come out here and, in theory, get as big a lead as possible, knowing that he has to play back on this end shortly, halfway through.
I do think we'll see a slightly more attacking version of Jonatan Christie at the start of this third and final game. Yeah, and that's the sort of rally I do expect. Just a little bit more attacking because he doesn't have the rear of the court, so he's got to take the game on and get the attack and keep the shuttle going in a downward direction. And he's so fast that he can maintain the speed during the rally and for the rest of, because it's a pretty short game so far, 38 minutes. It hasn't really been that physical as of yet. We haven't had a lot of long rallies.
No.
The second game was incredibly quick.
Yeah. Again, there we go. That has afflicted him in the first game.
2-1.
This is why the two ends are quite a stark contrast from one another. Play the same shot down the other end, it's out by, can't say exactly, but it's, you know, it's definitely out 4-6 inches, whatever it is exactly, depending on exact depth of the drift.
Yeah, it's just a flash up in the crowd. And that hasn't been sorted out quite yet, but play continues.
Exceptional net shot. Wow. Again, though, the speed from Christie, and this is the thing I think Lu Guangzhou is going to struggle with a little bit. If Christie maintains the speed throughout the rally as he's doing right now, it doesn't get any better than that net shot. But it's hard for Lu Guangzhou. I don't think he has a quicker gear than he's currently in. Tell you what, that's not bad. Got behind that. A little bit flat, a little bit short, that lift. It's so hard to lift from the side Christie's at. He's got one right this side.
3-all. Number 3.
Good body attack there, Lu Guangzhou.
Just talking to himself there, wasn't he?
Yeah, just reiterating the drift. I think he thought it was going out and then realised it's almost coming slightly back in.
From Indonesia,
That's why it's important for Christie to try and keep the shuttle going in a downward direction. Saw it earlier on in the final game. He was so good at just keeping the attack.
Yeah.
Hitting downwards, holding net, hitting downwards, holding net.
He's gone for it again. It's not working for him.
If I was Lu Guangzhou now, I would definitely be making bigger moves forward. It's evident.
To force him to...
Yeah, to try and lift, yeah. I wouldn't hold my base back. Especially as Christie's net's exceptional at times. You can almost leave the rear as an open space because Lu Guangzhou doesn't have to fear it because it's much harder for Christie to play that part of the court.
Well, look, as far as Christie's concerned, only a point behind. This is fine for him.
Perfect.
That's great shot down the line. He's all square here. Lu Guangzhou will hope that he certainly has a much better time of things back on this near side when they swap halfway through, because he was second best throughout that last game. In order to help him, of course, he needs a very good lead here. Kind of be kind of perfect from here on in till the interval. Just playing with that confidence against Christie.
Service over. 7.
His little run of points comes to an end.
Service over. 13 all.
8-6. Service over. 7-8.
14-13.
It's the problem now for Lu Guangzhou.
All.
If it's even close when they change ends, which is highly likely to be obviously being 8-all, it's very difficult because he really struggled down the end that Christie's currently down. But he's going to have to come out with a very different game plan than he played in the second.
Cristiano, decent run here, won 5 of the last 7 points, but then he does that.
Service over. 9-8.
Service over. 14-15.
Service over. 9-all.
Service over. 16-14.
It's looking difficult, isn't it, Lu Guangzhou at this stage?
10-9.
Yeah, I mean, depends how we look at it in regards to, yes, if he comes out with the same game plan they had in the second, which was he played pretty much the same game plan in the first and the second game, it's not going to work down that end. But if he can play a totally different game, a lot more attacking, more aggressive, have a higher base, it's possible.
So the most he can hope for is a 1-point lead before he changes ends.
Service over. 15-17.
He does have that lead, but it is just a solitary point then Lu Guangzhou. 11-10 at the interval here. But he's going on to the end where he got completely outplayed in the last game. Let's see if he can adapt better this time round.
Lagi, come on. Yang penting ingat simpel tadi kan.
对吧？他回放就是高点，可以。就我在往前出的时候，一定要先推，第二个一定要就是兜他头顶。你看他，我们前面兜他两个头顶都有效果，你看他兜你头顶也有效果，他跟前面蹦跟头顶一直难受。我兜完这种头顶，你一看他半边的头顶，就到后头他弹你过去，别我往前，弹你过去，就是多注意。其他的没有，往前一点高点，不要。
Service over. 16-19.
Eleven, 10. Play.
Service over. 20, match point,
10.
Yeah, and already different tactics than we saw. A lot more aggressive, more attacking. From Lu Guangzhou compared to the second game when he was down the same end.
It's good, that one.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I feel like the game's come alive a little bit, though, in regards to...
It seemed like he just upped the ante there, didn't he, Lu Guangzhou?
11, 12.
I think we're going to see... Hopefully we're going to see, you know, the most exciting part of the game now, this last section of the game. This is where it all matters.
Right. Yeah, he's just got to draw a line under what happened that last game and approach it differently.
Brilliant.
That
and it is, you know, he's come out with a different game plan, a lot more aggressive, more attacking. He knows he's got to take the game on. He can't sit back. He can't be too defensive. Yeah. See, short-lived.
Well, this has been good so far from Lu Guangzhou.
11.
This is the advantage he does have with slight drift with him. His attack just has a little bit more zip on it, but he's got himself into the position to be able to use
Plays those, yeah.
And it's been good. I mean, since we changed ends,
Yeah.
his attack's been really good. He's changed his game plan, which is the integral part.
3-1 since the interval in favour of Lu Guangzhou.
Good pressure from Jonatan Christie. And you see all players, as soon as they get their opponent in trouble, they'll predict where the shuttle's going, and there he's got such a high base, he's just behind the front service line, taking a calculated decision.
Christie chipping away at that lead.
Definitely seeing some of the best rallies of the match so far.
Yeah.
Really come alive, this game. Short-lived, good power, it's good placement. I do think Lu Guangzhou could cope with that, but it's enough to win the point. Almost bringing back level.
Oh, he delivers something like that, Lu Guangzhou.
Definitely since the change of ends. Obviously, we haven't played a lot of points since they've changed ends, but Lu Guangzhou's attack has been so much better than any other part of the game.
Coach is enjoying it.
Court number 2, mixed doubles. From Malaysia, Tan Kang Peng and Lai Pai King.
Wonderful stop drop there. So since the interval, it has been 4-all.
See that clear, that last clear from Lu Guangzhou. He obviously got his footwork slightly wrong, but the clear was so short that Christie's in front of the front service line. He's got all the options in the world. And yes, it was an exceptional stop drop, but he could have played anything.
Court 2, Hubertus from Indonesia. Service judge, Jesper Hidamlas, 10 times.
Those are the shots on this end that you can play with deadly effect.
This is the thing, I feel like he's taken the game plan on. He's realised that it's not do or die, but if he doesn't follow the correct game plan of being quite aggressive and attacking, he can't win. And he's almost trapped in a corner, but he's dealt with it so well.
Yeah.
So well.
Stark contrast from the last one, wasn't it?
Yep. Christie, that cross-court backhand, he caught Lu Guangzhou, put him in trouble, he stepped up, took his net shot early. That one there, Lu Guangzhou's in trouble, takes this early, Jonatan Christie. Lu Guangzhou's pretty late. So the later you are, the less options you have and the harder it is to play the shot. Wow.
He's just not allowing Christie to draw level at the moment. Just chipping ahead.
Got to be honest, the attacking prowess at the moment of Lu Guangzhou, he's caught me by surprise.
Where was this earlier? In the match. But you said he had to really radically change things up, and he has.
It's over. 16-17.
Well, that is the first time they have drawn level since they were at 10-all.
One of the first overhead attacking shots as well from Lu Guangzhou that he's missed. Could prove a massive point. Brought Christie right back into it.
Yeah.
Could have put just a little bit of doubt in Lu Guangzhou's mind.
Six of the last 9 have gone the way of Jonatan Christie.
That's sharp.
It's over.
Oh, this is
18-17.
much closer to where we were in the first game.
Incredibly well read there. Yeah, tiny bit loose from Jonatan Christie, but not that loose, but great speed. He's read that so well, Lu Guangzhou.
Oof, tight. Doesn't make it over.
I was going to say for a second then, did that sneak over?
Yeah.
What an exciting end to this match.
And that's a credit to Lu Guangzhou, really, and how he's approached things. Jonatan Christie's also played his part. Now, 18-all. Really feels like Lu Guangzhou's finally got to grips with this end, which he struggled with in the last game.
Thank you. Service over.
Christie,
19,
frustration
18.
there. Lu Guangzu, couple points away from taking this. We've just hit the hour mark here. And that sets up match point now. Two of them for Lu Guangzu.
20.
Again, it's just the
Match
pressure.
point,
It's
18.
the constant attacking prowess and pressure of Lu Guangzu.
Lu Guangzu finishes it off in style.
Okay.
Wow, what a finish to this match. I'm not sure we saw that coming necessarily earlier on.
I mean, to an extent, we kind of did on one hand because he couldn't play the way he played in the second because he was totally outplayed. He had to go all in attack, and he did. But full credit to him. Played really, really well. Threw everything at Jonatan Christie.
He adapted brilliantly, didn't he?
Yeah.
As you said, he had to change things up, and he did the job. Excellent work for Lu Guangzu.
Match won by Lu Guangzu, 21, 19, 8, 21, 21, 18.
That's a credit there to Lu Guangzu, who's now just edged ahead in the head-to-head between these two. So Lu Guangzu of China beats the Indonesian fourth seed, Jonatan Christie, 21-19, 8-21, 21-18. He's done it in just over an hour. So two matches down here on court one, the HSBC BWF Denmark Open 2024. Into our third match here, and this is a highly anticipated one. An Se-young of Korea, the top seed here, the Olympic gold medalist, will be playing Ratchanok Intanon, the former world champion.